the Overnight Underground News Podcast. Now, the headlines. More rioting in Minneapolis and protests in LA and Memphis. Troubles for democracy continue in Hong Kong. The Trump Twitter wars begun they have.
See through you. We can.
GE turns off the lights and bears like donuts. Who knew? These stories and more coming up on today's Overnight Underground News. I'm John Ford. The second night of unrest in Minneapolis sure looked like a bona fide riot.
A riot is an ugly thing. And I think that it is just about time that we had one!
Angered over the death of George Floyd at the hands of the Minneapolis PD, protesters turned into rioters and looted a Target, burned down multiple buildings, including an auto parts store and a low-income housing project. Business owners brandished firearms to protect their stores from looting, and at least one shooting death has been reported. According to a reporter from the Star-Tribune, the shooting death allegedly involved a pawn shop owner shooting a looter. So what's next? Probably the National Guard. The Minneapolis Mayor reportedly has asked Governor Tim Walz to deploy the Guard. The governor has yet to publicly respond to the request. It's unfortunate, but some people just want to watch the world burn.
You ever dance with the devil in the pale moonlight?
On the left coast, protesters in solidarity with their brethren in Minneapolis shut down the 101 freeway and smashed windows on a CHP patrol car. One person was injured when he fell from the hood of a patrol car as it sped from the scene after being mobbed by demonstrators. The protesters later dispersed and it was all over by 6:30. No arrests were made. Protests also took place in Memphis and arrests were reportedly made there. According to Fox News, President Trump has ordered the FBI and the Justice Department to investigate the death of Floyd. What a year 2020 is turning out to be. I don't even want to think about what's next.
Just a reminder for our radio listeners that the end of the world is going to come next Tuesday at 4:30 p.m., and the Department of Health has requested homeowners to unplug all electrical appliances, turn off radios and TV sets, and disconnect gas stoves and furnaces. The post office recommends that you mail early in the day, and for those with automobiles, alternate side of the street parking will be suspended. That's the end of the world next Tuesday at 4:30 p.m. Mark it down.
On the other side of the globe, things are not much better. Unrest boiled over in Hong Kong following the Chinese government rubber stamping the new Hong Kong security law. The new law authorizes the Kami-Pinko Chinese government to prevent, quote, secession, subversion, terrorism, and foreign interference. The new law pretty much officially ends the one country, two systems rule in the former British colony. Secretary of State Mike Pompeo said Wednesday that Hong Kong, for all practical purposes, is no longer autonomous from China.
Thank you, Captain Obvious.
So what's next? Possible sanctions imposed by the U.S. on China, and in the end, an erosion of Hong Kong as a financial hub as investors see the city as being a risky place to invest.
My grandfather says your country will one day choke on the vomit of your capitalist excess.
The Trump Twitter war continues again today. Following the company's fact-checking of a Trump twat yesterday, the president said he is set to announce an executive order to regulate social media platforms. Yeah, good luck with that.
Good luck. We're all counting on you.
President Trump tweeted this morning that today, quote, will be a big day for social media and fairness. You know, if he holds a press conference and starts demanding the government liberate CompuServe, we're all fucked. A leak of Trump's alleged executive order has shown up on social media. That link, of course, is available at overnightunderground.com. Facebook's Zuckerberg just had to get in on the action, too, telling Fox News that private companies shouldn't be the arbiter of truth.
I just believe strongly that Facebook shouldn't be the arbiter of truth of everything that people say online. I think in general, private companies probably shouldn't be, or especially these platform companies, shouldn't be in the position of doing that.
Seems to me that Facebook may not want to be the arbiter of truth, but it sure looks like they'd love to become overlords of their own little de facto internet.
I, for one, welcome our new Facebook overlords.
In other amusing Twitter news, Newsweek is reporting that Twitter's head of site integrity...
Oh, wait, you serious? Let me laugh even harder.
compared Trump's senior counselor Kellyanne Conway to the Nazi government's Minister of Propaganda Joseph Goebbels in a 2017 tweet. I wonder if the Department of Site Integrity will fact-check that one. Twitter head of Site Integrity. Talk about the propaganda pot calling the kettle black. Here's our audio soundbite of the day, and it's a quickie. It comes to us from presumptive Democratic nominee Joe Biden, mixing up his sports analogies a bit.
Presidents are supposed to lead, not engage in folly and be falsely masculine. It reminds me of the guys that I grew up with playing ball. They'd walk around with a ball in their hand, but they didn't like to hit very much.
It's a swing and a punt for Biden. After over 100 years of
The best, and the brightest.
GE is getting out of the light bulb business. ARS Technica reports that GE is selling off its last consumer-facing business. The Wall Street Journal notes that the deal is valued at about $250 million. Well, this begs a question. Does General Electric still do or make anything electric? And what about their promise to bringing good things to life?
And just because these GE pinheads are trying to squeeze every last dime out of this operation, that doesn't mean we're going to slap up another crummy rerun. Oh, I'm sorry, that's exactly what it means.
Most people breaking into a bank do so to steal the money.
Show me the money.
Like famed bank robber Willie Sutton once said when asked why he robs banks, because that's where the money is. News 10 San Diego reports that a man apparently broke into a Wells Fargo bank Wednesday morning just so he could heat up his Hot Pocket sandwiches.
You did that for a Hot Pocket?
Yes. All that for a Hot Pocket.
You broke into a bank for a Hot Pocket?
Hot Pocket. For a Hot Pocket.
Was it worth it?
Hell yeah, it's worth it. Yeah, it's worth it. A Hot Pocket? Hell yeah.
That's the alleged perp talking with a News 10 reporter as he was led, handcuffed, from the bank. You just can't make this shit up.
I got scared. I dropped my Hot Pocket.
How did police in Fort Myers, Florida, trap a black bear that was roaming the downtown streets of the city? According to the news press, why, with donuts, of course.
The donuts have reached your brain.
The Popo used their trusty supply of Krispy Kremes to lure the bear so wildlife biologists could nab the furry perp.
We're just trying to use some attractant. In this case, we use donuts. Sugary products, things like that, will often attract bears.
Florida Fish and Wildlife Conservation Commission Officer Adam Brown. I could just go for the low-hanging fruit here and point out that it was a black bear, so the cops could have just shot him or choked him out. But I won't.
Hey, boo-boo, let's see what we got in this picnic basket.
Tell the other bears what you just saw. N-E-W-S.
A mostly correct and occasionally incomplete transcript and links to reference sources and articles of this Overnight Underground can be found at overnightunderground.com.